Hi there, my name's Arnie, and in today's video we'll be looking at GCSE electrolysis. Now, electrolysis is simply the decomposition of a compound using electricity. For this particular example, we'll be looking at bauxite, otherwise known as the aluminium ore or aluminium oxide. In order to conduct electrolysis, we need two electrodes. A cathode, which is a negatively charged electrode used to attract the positive ions, and an anode, which is a positively charged electrode used to attract the negative ions. In order to power this, we need a battery or a power supply in order to provide it a current. The substance that we would be breaking down is often called the electrolyte. In order to make electrolysis work, the electrolyte needs to have ions that are free to move. This often means we would need to dissolve the compound in water to provide an aqueous solution, and therefore provide ions that are free to move. However, bauxite is an insoluble substance, so in this scenario, what we would do is we would melt bauxite to create a molten substance. Now, bauxite itself has a very high melting point. So after purifying the bauxite to just have aluminium oxide, we would add a substance called cryolite, which reduces the melting point of our compound. This means we need less energy in order to achieve molten aluminium oxide. Now that we have molten aluminium oxide, the ions inside are free to move. As you can see, we have both the positively charged aluminium ions as well as the negatively charged oxygen ions. These ions are then attracted to the different electrodes in the circuit. The negatively charged oxygen ions are attracted to the positively charged anode. Here, the electrons are lost for the oxygen to become neutrally charged and bind with another oxygen to become O2. These electrons are carried by the current to the negatively charged cathode. Here, these extra electrons are passed over to the positively charged aluminium ions. These ions lose their charge as they accumulate the electrons. What happens is these aluminium ions now become simply aluminium atoms, and they sink to the bottom of the tank. The aluminium is then accumulated at the bottom of the tank. On the other side, by the positively charged anode, lots of oxygen gas begins to form, which float up to the surface as bubbles. We have now completed the decomposition of bauxite or aluminium oxide. We have aluminium accumulated underneath the negatively charged cathode as a pure form.